Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the cupcake hunter himself, EDP445. It appears I'm a little bit late to this subject, but that's fine. I've had a lot of other stuff going on that I kind of wanted to focus on, but this is still pretty important. As you guys know, we've been covering the EDP445 saga, if you want to call it that, pretty much ever since it really started. When EDP445 finally got exposed for trying to meet up with a child that he had been talking to very filthily online for quote-unquote a cupcake, if you know what I'm saying. Ever since that happened, we've been talking about it, and EDP445's reputation online has been completely destroyed, right? I mean, everyone's talked about this at some point, it seems like, and it's gotten so bad that even his personal life was completely destroyed by everything that happened, right? I don't want to call this a drama because what EDP445 was doing is genuinely criminal, and it goes much further than just some online petty drama. I mean, this guy was quite literally caught, you know, basically being a predator, but his entire life has just been in shambles ever since this entire thing went down. Ever since he got caught, basically, in 4K, his life has been completely ruined. You guys may know, he went from being basically a YouTube star to being reportedly homeless, potentially in jail, unable to find a job or even a solid place to live. Word has been that he's been living basically out of a suitcase on a shoestring budget, basically trying to find any hotel, motel, or temporary place that he can stay. Every job that he's applying for and trying to get, people will find out online somehow, and they'll basically like spam the employer with the history of everything EDP's done, which has basically prevented him from getting and holding a stable job. Last time I heard, he was trying to do like Uber slash Lyft slash DoorDash, and apparently he's been fired from that as well now that people figured that out and started kind of like sending the evidence of what happened to these people. Obviously, he can't really get a good foothold back on the internet. His YouTube channel was terminated, and pretty much every attempt that he's made to come back to the internet in a meaningful way has been shut down by people. But it turns out that EDP445 is out there, and he's still lurking, man. He's still out there in the shadows, okay? He's not, you know, hanging out right here on YouTube or somewhere where you can see him very visibly. He can be called out on his shit. No. Our man EDP445 here is using obscure video chatting apps and streaming apps that people pretty much just don't use except for pretty much him and like I would say weirdos. I don't know, maybe that's a little judgmental, but I mean, in all reality, who the fuck is using these apps, right? I mean, if you're live streaming and you want an audience, you're doing so on like Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, right? You're going to a major website. You're not just downloading some random app off the fucking, you know, Apple App Store and making a living off of it, right? Well, you would be dead wrong if you think that, because EDP, that's his strategy. That's his go-to here. In fact, we're about to take a look at a video clip of EDP445 in one of these streams. This is a real thing, and yeah, go ahead and take a look.
EDP, I'm such a big fan of you. Like, I'm being so serious.
Thank you.
How's life been? Like, why did you come to Big O?
You said what?
Why did you come to Big O?
What the fuck is Big O?
This app.
Oh, you mean Bigo? Oh.
Yeah.
I know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Shit, man. The big homie James, man, he said, hey, bro, man, there's this app, nigga. I think you'll like it. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and fuck with it and see what it's about.
All right, bro. That's like you can find some bad bitches on here too, bro. You can find some bad bitches on here.
Nigga, listen, man. I'm cool on that bullshit. I'm flying solo, nigga, from now on, man.
So you don't want bitches, but you want kids?
Block him. He's gone. Get him out.
You fat nasty big ass bitch. Just don't make nasty ass fuck up. Bitch, you peanut head ass bitch. Bitch, you like touching on little kids. Bitch, you want a cupcake? Bitch, you want a cupcake face nasty big ass bitch. You fat nasty big ass bitch. You finna touch me next? You finna touch me? You finna touch me, you fat nasty big ass bitch?
So as you can see by that video clip, EDP445's return to the internet is not going that great, right? You know, he's had all these issues in his personal life due to him getting caught. He's had his entire reputation destroyed. His online career is over with. And EDP445 is a man that is hanging on to the last bit of shoestring that he possibly can, just trying to get dragged along. And so he's using these weird and obscure apps like this to talk to people. But even then, he can't escape the consequences consequences of the shit that he did. Even when he tries to lurk in the shadows and hide online in the weirdest fucking streaming apps possible on your phone, there's people ready to roast him at any given second. There's people ready to remind him exactly what he did and why he should not be allowed back into a public setting on the internet like this whatsoever. This is a man who was using the internet as a means to basically be a predator and be, you know, a danger to society and a danger to children. So there's a pretty good reason why people don't want him back online, right? There's a pretty good reason why people don't want him to hold specific jobs and things like that. Now, we all see this video, right? We all see what's happening here. You know, the levels, I guess, that EDP is going to try and keep his career alive here, but I just don't see a possibility of this working, right? Like, one thing I will say about this, right, is when you look at the video, it appears that EDP has some sort of, like, currency on this website, like coins or something, and he has, like, 29,000 of them. I don't know if these can be cashed out into money or something here, so potentially, I guess, he's profiting in a way. I don't know how much this would equate to in profit, if this is even redeemable for money whatsoever, but at the end of the day, he's definitely not in the position that he used to be in, right? You know, EDP445 at one point was beloved. People, even myself, loved his content. He was funny as fuck because he didn't really care, you know, he just said ridiculous things and he'd swear and he would do all this stupid shit and be goofy. And then now to see his fall from grace like this and see him with the labels that have been put on his name and see him basically lurking in the shadows trying to get any sort of desperate attention that he can. It's sad to see that happen, man, because this is somebody who, you know, whose content I really enjoyed and, you know, I thought he was a really genuine person. And he's obviously just an immoral fucking scumbag, right? But it turns out that EDP445's return to the internet through Bigo Live, I believe is what this platform is called that he's streaming on. Besides that, right, he has actually returned to at least a little piece of normalcy online. He has an Instagram account. Now, people in the commentary community and online have already been talking about this for weeks, but yes, EDP445 has an Instagram account, and he's actively posting content on it. In fact, I just took a look at it, and, you know, there's reactions on there, and there's videos of him on there talking. Even just a few hours ago, well, at least within the last day, he was uploading footage of him reacting to the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Bengals and the halftime show. So he's posting content all over this fucking thing here.
So I want to hit on a few key points before the fuck I forget. You know what I mean? First and foremost, man, Cincinnati's defensive line.
Now, of course, I guess the public reaction to this kind of content here, to EDP445's new Instagram page, it hasn't been that great, right? EDP seems to have this concept that he's going to be able to return to the internet at some point, right? He seems to have this idea that even though he was caught literally in 7,000 million K, literally impossible to not notice what he's doing, right? Going for a cupcake. He seems to think that with that happening, that he can still just come back to the internet and everything's gonna be fine. As if everyone's just forgotten what he did. As if, you know, that video has been scrubbed clean from the internet and our brains were all completely washed by that little, like, stick thing from Men in Black that just blanks your brain. I don't even think it's been a full year since this whole situation even unfolded in the first place, so it's still somewhat recent, you know what I mean? It's still somewhat relevant, and people, of course, are not gonna forget about this. We're talking about a massive former YouTube star who got caught on video trying to meet up with a child for disgusting purposes and reasons, and openly admitting that he'd had thoughts like this in the past, and then lied about it, right? Lied about what he was there to do. Oh, I'm just here to get a cupcake, bro. I will never not clown this motherfucker about cupcakes, you know? Dude, he gets everything that he deserves, in my opinion, right? This dude has asked for all of this with what he's done. And this idea that he's gonna come back to the internet and people are not gonna, you know, care is ridiculous. In fact, even when you look like on that video I just showed you, let's go ahead and take a look at the Instagram comments. Let's see what people have to say. Bro, I wanna go pick up some cupcakes from this girl. They were good. EDP, do I get to meet you if I say I'm 11? EDP talking about Kendrick falling off like he ain't get his whole channel deleted. OMG, entering the prison 445. I'm such a big fan. Yeah, let's listen to the child lover. So you can clearly see that people are not really on his side, right? People are not here watching his content with this open mind, I guess, of like letting him return to normalcy see, you know, as if he's some sort of new creator they've never seen. This shit is going to continue to haunt EDP445 for as long as he lives, most likely. People have found out every single facet about his life, every detail, and they are actively ruining it because of what he did. Now, a lot of people, you know, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there have been people online who have said, you know, that people are going too far when they, I guess, dox him and let potential employers know of his past and his record and things like that. So I guess that's the counter argument against this. I mean, you can feel however you want, in my personal opinion, about this. If you think people are being too harsh, I mean, I'm not gonna say that you can't say that, but of course, most people think that this is completely justified, and they're just kind of jumping in on the train of not liking this guy. EDP, though, he has nearly 17,000 followers on Instagram, which is pretty crazy, and it's ironic that here in the description it says, push through and overcome regardless of the circumstance. My man, the circumstance is quite literally you being a fucking sexual predator to children, okay? This ain't your average circumstance, you know? I feel like you can say that, right? You can be like, yeah, man, you just gotta push through and overcome regardless of the circumstance. If you're having a bad day and you don't feel good, right? You can go ahead and say that. Or if you had a bad game in basketball, right? And you got another game coming up in 3 days, yeah, you know, you gotta push through and overcome, man. Why sit around and let a bad game get to your head? You, motherfucker, were committing a serious crime. So let's not talk about how we're pushing through and overcoming regardless of the circumstance, because A, your circumstance is one that you can't really come back from. Like, you did this all to yourself, and honestly, you should be in jail if we're keeping it completely, honest about this whole thing here. And also, number two, you're talking about pushing through and overcoming the situation, yet you've completely destroyed your entire career and destroyed your personal reputation. You're pushing through and overcoming serious allegations, my man. And not only that, but you have a basically secret Instagram that you can't do anything with because everyone who follows you only follows you to bully you in the comments. You're not making really any significant money from any of this shit, so I'm kind of wondering how you're even keeping yourself alive, paying the bills. And your entire career at this point depends on you streaming on like the 7 millionth most popular streaming app on the planet. There's more people using OpTube, and that website hasn't been functional in like a year. So when it comes down to, you know, whether or not he's going to be able to make this comeback, right? He's trying his damnedest, right? He's got his Instagram and his streaming and whatnot. But is that going to be enough? Will people eventually forgive him or forget? Personally, I don't really think so. Especially being forgiven. People online, you know, even when it comes to trivial shit, are very hard to forgive, right? Like, people don't be forgiving people for shit like that often. And then especially when you consider the circumstances here, there's gonna be people who hate this guy forever, you know? There's gonna be people who, just because of what he did, will never like or support him. And I'm one of those people. You know, I used to be a really big fan of this guy until this shit happened. But I'm not gonna sit here and support his content and fucking donate to him or anything like that. And I can't imagine that many people will. I mean, of course, there's probably that certain portion of people who are gonna follow him regardless, right? Because for some reason they don't care about what he did, but I mean, that's such a small group of people. And even when it comes to him gaining new fans, which is so important to an online career, is to gain new subscribers and followers and keep yourself relevant, the only way he can do that is if these people don't know what he did. And I mean, constantly reminded, if you can tell, he is. Like, you see the fucking chat, you see people coming in and like talking to him in the live streams and in his Instagram comments. He's constantly being shit on for this. So I don't see a way for him to gain new fans when they're going to constantly see that and hear those allegations constantly get brought back up. And any potential old fan is not going to be coming back because of what happened. And EDP can stay mad about that, right? You can be upset that people call you out on your shit, right? I get him out the fucking chat, bro. But you still got to live with what you did, man. You still got to live with everything that happened, and the fact of the matter it being that it was all your fault. So at the end of the day, this is what's going on. EDP445 is back online. He's trying to make a career again, and he's trying to more or less lurk in the shadows so that he can try and rebuild his image because, well, that's how he made money. And even if, you know, he does decide to come back like this and he keeps trying and keeps creating accounts on all this shit, I don't see it working. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @subtooptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about EDP and signing out.